Have you ever wondered, what does it actually mean to be a creative? Am I a creative? Are you a creative? In this video, that's what we're going to be talking about. What are the aspects that make a person creative, or a creative person a creative person? What is it that makes certain people more creative than other people, and what are those attributes that make up creativity within an individual? And if you stick around all the way to the end, we're going to talk about a few little tips and tricks as to how to enhance your own personal creativity. So make sure to stick around. Also, if you like the content, please drop a sub. And then pick the sub back up and eat the sub, because a sub's a good snack. To intro this book that we're talking about, I must say, it is definitely the most comprehensive book I own on creativity. And if you're ever like, oh, you know what? I want a scientific take of what it means to be a creative, then this is 1000% the book for you. It's called Creativity, and it's The Psychology of Discovery and Invention by Mihaly, I gotta look his name up. How the heck do you... And it's a book by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, which try to say that name 5 times fast, why don't you? And there were so many things in this book that I wanted to talk about. This is likely going to be a 2-parter, because this is like a 400-page academic book on creativity, and I'm going to talk about it in like 11 minutes, something like that. So make sure to stay tuned for that 2nd-parter, because my goodness, this was a book and a half, let me tell you. So the context of the book, he interviews a ton of people in leading fields, whether it be field in mathematics or in music or in psychology or in the creative arts, anything. He interviews them, he sits down with them, and he pretty much asks them a series of questions, and he does this nearly exhaustively. That is to say, he interviews like hundreds of people, and he gathers all the data. He synthesizes it, he presses it in, and then he presents, these are the 10 characteristics that make up a creative person. Obviously, there are exceptions and so on and so forth, but this is what makes up the majority of creative people. So there are 10 points. 10 points that we're going to be trying to get through. Buckle up. We're going to go through them quick. Remember, at the end, we're going to talk about ways to enhance your personal creativity. So stick around. With the first point that defines what it means to be a creative person is that you have a ton of energy and you know how to reserve it. These are the kind of people who know that they've got a ton in the tank. They've got a lot of energy. They know when and how to use it appropriately towards the tasks that they're doing. But when they're not using it, they know when to conserve their energy. The second point is not only are they very smart and intelligent, have high IQs, they're also quite naive. And that naivete, that sense of awe and wonder, the quote from the book, he's actually quoting Goethe, says this: naivete is the most important attribute to genius. There's a sense about that we all can connect with. And remember, we've talked about this previously, but that naiveness of children, it's beautiful. There's another scholar, his name is Paul Ricoeur. He is a French philosopher, and he talks about this idea called the second naivete. I could do an entire video on it, and I probably will. But it's this idea where when you've read all the books, you've lived the life, and you enter back into this state of kind of simplicity, this naiveness of, oh, I don't have all the answers, and because I don't know all the answers, I can engage with things in a way that is simple and yet profound at the same time. Which leads very well into the third point, which is creatives can manage the tension between playfulness and discipline really well. And one of the examples he gives in the book is this guy, and he imagines himself, when he goes to engage in a creative endeavor, he imagines himself in jail. And it's brilliant because what he does is he says, however long it takes, it doesn't matter. He makes time a completely subjective idea where it's like, well, whether this takes me a month or whether this takes me 10 minutes, it doesn't matter because I'm in jail. Straight to jail. And who would have thought jail is the secret to all forms of creativity? Don't quote me on that. Well, maybe quote me, I don't know. So that's the third point. People who are creative, they know how to engage with discipline and playfulness and everything in between. The fourth point of what it means to be a creative is that creatives are able to alternate between high levels of imaginativity. I don't think that's a real word. Imagination. That's the word. They have the ability to engage in high levels of imagination, and at the same time, they're able to be very grounded individuals. It's as if they can see themselves in some like Narnian-esque reality, and then in the very next moment, they can do their taxes. My wife, she is brilliant at this. She's able to walk into a room and she's a very interior design kind of an eye. And she's able to go, oh, this lighting would be perfect for this space. Or, oh, this kind of ottoman would be an empire. No, this kind of ottoman would be a great addition to this space. And yet at the very same time, she has this groundedness to understanding that that's not what the space is at this very present moment. And yet that's what the space could be. She has an imagination and creativity for what it could be. Anyways, that's what point 4 is all about. If you find yourself doing that, probably because you're creative. Anyways, point 5 is either that you fall on the very introverted scale or the very extroverted side of the scale. That is to say, most creative people don't have that middle ground. They're not like, I'm kind of introverted, I'm kind of extroverted. It's like they're either like, lock me up in a room and don't come in for the next 8 hours, or like, take me to the beach with my best friends and we're going to party all day. Those are the kind of extremes that creatives often inhabit. So that's the 5th point. And remember, stick around to the end because we're going to talk about different ways to enhance your own, I don't know why I'm business sharks, to enhance your own personal creativity. And along those same lines, point 6 is that they are extremely humble people, and yet they're very proud of the work that they produce. And a big reason for that, if you're a creative person, you might feel this. You've absorbed so much content from a certain topic or a certain idea, and yet at that same time, you recognize that when you create in your own space, you know, oh, well, this is good, but there's plenty of other people who can do it way better than me. And because of that, you're able to hold the tension of like, I'm really proud of this work that I've done, and man, this isn't the best, and that is okay. And that's point 6. Point 7 of a creative person. This might be you if you're watching this video and you feel like number 7 resonates with you. I don't know why I did that voice. Point 7, it's a little of a touchy one. They break out of the kind of gender specific stereotypes. These are from the book. Before, let's all just take a step back for a second. I'm just quoting things from brother Csikszentmihalyi. And again, to put the matter simply, if you're creative, you don't necessarily fall within one of those stereotypes of very reserved or very emotional. You kind of inhabit both sides, if that makes sense. So that's point 7. Point 8 to what it means to be a creative person is that they are rebellious in the right ways. And this is important because oftentimes I think we have this sense about ourselves that like we're the exception to the rule, you know, like, oh, I can break the rules because I'm just a rule breaker, you know. But what I found is the best creatives, they break the rules because they know the rules. It's like trying to play jazz without knowing your chords, you know? It's like trying to drive a car without knowing the road rules. Like you have to learn the rudimentary, the basic skills of a certain creative idea or a creative domain in order to break the rules. Do you know what I mean? Like if you don't have a deepened understanding of the domain that you're inhabiting, whether that be from mathematics to the creative arts, you don't know what to rule and what's not a rule. So you don't actually know what you're doing. Therefore, it conveys that you are maybe a creative person, but you're also potentially just reckless. And potentially you need to just sit down and read a book. Just kidding. Read this book. Buy it in the link below. Again, point 8, they're rebellious because they have absorbed the domain in which they inhabit. And point 9 is that they are passionate, but they're also very objective. I have a friend and he's studying his master's degree in theology. And what I love about this friend is that he's super passionate about theology, the way that he expresses it and speaks about it. And yet he is keenly aware of the deficiencies of his own belief system, the areas of his theology which aren't very strong. And he's very willing to put those things forward and saying, oh, I need to learn more about this. And that's a very acute attribute of someone who is creative. They're both passionate about their area and they're objective about areas that they still need to explore within their own space. And the 10th point is that creative people, they have a heightened sense of reality. They're more sensitive, more empathetic to the world around them. And in doing so, they experience the high highs and the low lows. And we see this kind of with the tortured artist motif, where it's like, if you're not suffering and hating your life, you're probably not a creative. I just fundamentally disagree with that. All the people that I know who literally make a living off of creating things or coming up with ideas, they live wonderful lives, very full, robust lives, but they live a life that they very much so enjoy. Not only that, they're very empathetic people. One of my greatest influences when it comes to creativity was a guy I interned with. He's one of the most empathetic people I know. And that is part of the reason that he's so creative. It fuels his creativity to be able to experience the things that other people experience. So those are the 10 points. If you want to view all the 10 points, they're right here. And now they're fading away. Bye, points. We are not done yet. How to enhance our own personal creativity. We're only going to talk about 3 things because, again, this is going to be a 2-parter, a twofer. And I'm going to what's your palette? Give you a little amuse-bouche of what it means to enhance your own personal creativity. And here are the 3 ideas. The first of which is be surprised by something every single day. And the way that you're surprised by something is that you engage curiosity within yourself. Maybe you're walking past a stop sign and you see a sticker that's on there and you recognize that someone had to design that sticker. They had to print that sticker, they had to put it on the stop sign, or perhaps you're driving to work and you see the graffiti on the wall that you drive past every single day, and maybe you drive a little bit slower and you keep both hands on the wheels, but you check it out, you look at the nuance of it. Or perhaps you ride the train every day and you find a note on the ground from a lover and it never made it to their person of affection. And you have to engage that sense of wonder and curiosity and awe with the world around you. With the world around you. So be surprised every single day. The second idea is recognizing that enjoyment within creativity comes through complexity. This is why people play Sudoku. People play Sudoku and they play any game, or they enjoy any sort of creative endeavor because the way that they started is not where they're at currently. The same reason why people stay with YouTube is the level of complexity as it scales becomes even more enjoyable if you're a creative person. Or whether it's drawing or painting or leadership or anything like that, the level of complexity scales as you continue to grow. And within that, you have to engage new forms of creativity in order to keep up with the complexity. And we really enjoy that, like this sense of challenge. All human beings have this knack for finding things and solving problems. And that really does engage our creativity on a deeper level. So push into that. Find ways to make simple tasks more complex so you can grow your own creativity. Finally, how do you enhance your own personal creativity? And it's not what you want to hear. And the way that you enhance your own personal creativity is you press into your own personal lacks and deficiencies. What I mean by that is that there is a reason why you haven't leveled up in the creative thing that you're currently working on. There is something that you're putting your hands to that you keep hitting that ceiling. And it's because you don't have one specific technique. You haven't learned one unique way of approaching things to help you solve that problem that keeps you in that box. It keeps you hitting that ceiling. But if you're brutally honest with yourself, you know it just takes time. And if you sat down and ruthlessly, relentlessly worked on that one thing, perhaps it's a chord progression and you can never quite get it. But if you sat down and all you did for 4 hours or 10 hours is work on that progression, or you work on that brush stroke, you're going to break the lid off of your creativity and you're going to excel in areas that you never thought possible. But you have to press into those deficiencies. If you want to learn more about what it means to actually be a creative person or how to engage in creativity, you can watch this video, you can watch that video, watch whatever the heck video you want. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you want to grab your copy of Creativity, the link is in the binky. The linky in the binky, belonky. Thanks for watching. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi.
Mihaly
Csikszentmihalyi. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. All right. Oh, Lord. Please cut this out, Daniel. Please don't put this at the end for people to subscribe, like, and comment.